Let's see here. Kyle, are you there?
Yes.
There you are. Hey there, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How you doing?
Just fine. Nice to see you. I bet you've got a day that involves volleyball in some way today.
Seems like almost every day does in some capacity. It feels even when I'm home with the kids, we have a little net in our backyard, and so we will often get out there and goof around too. And so it is very much embedded into my life. Yes.
For how long, if I may ask? Now, you've been here, by the way. Congratulations. You've been here for about a year, right?
Yeah, just over one calendar year. So last fall was the first season I was here with UK. Yeah.
And how's Kentucky working out for you? You came here from Texas, right?
Yeah, came here from Texas, and we're prior to that from Southern California, and that's where we're all from is Southern California. And so we've just gradually moved ourselves further east. But we've loved our time here in Kentucky. Lexington is a special place. We're really thrilled just the community. Big Blue Nation is legit. It is a real deal, and that's been something we've really enjoyed. Is just the passion people have for UK has been really cool to see firsthand.
Well, I am. I'm. This is going to sound funny to say, but I'm kind of new to it, which is to say that one of the things I was so excited about, I kind of had to screw my courage down to ask you all to be on the show, because I'm such a fan of UK volleyball, and I have no prior history of a fandom for any spectator sport at all, and I'm not sure
Yeah.
what it is that makes that magic. But you, as a transplant here, maybe have seen some of that. What is special about this program that you've seen in the last year or so?
Yeah, that's a great question because yeah, I've only been here for a year, and if you had told my wife and I that Kentucky was in our future, we would have been like, no, we're not, that's not probably somewhere we're gonna head. And it just because it was something just I don't think Californians grow up having Kentucky on their mind. It's just you don't really even know it that well. And
I used to
so
live in New York, and if I can interject here, and
yep.
I felt like New Yorkers, as far as Kentucky was concerned, it's not what people would expect. They actually just thought it was a kind of mythical place. They didn't, they'd seen the word before, and supposedly it was a place. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yes. No, totally. And so when the position opened, the initially I didn't think much of it. I just kind of went back to work and just yeah, didn't really register too much past just like current events. But then I kind of sat on it for a second. I was like, you know what? Kentucky volleyball is historically very good. They are good all like again like eight straight conference championships at that point, um, and Craig being a head coach who has a very is very highly regarded in our sport, and so. Um, Kind of took a leap of faith and some courage just to find a way to get in touch with Craig because I didn't have any like necessarily ties with him, and so
Hmm.
found a way to get in touch with him, and then from there I was just kind of like kind of being the squeaky wheel of just kind of bugging him and trying to do what I could to get an in-person interview and kind of fighting for that opportunity. And so I think part of that was just a high level of respect for what this program has done in a sport where that's really hard to do, to just have sustained success. I think some teams will touch good and great every now and then, but like what Craig has done here is they have stayed there for a long time, for a decade, essentially. And so there's a ton of respect there, and then also in a good way, getting out of my comfort zone, of doing something new, learning under a new coach, maybe a new system, um, and then yeah, all the stuff that's come with it, we've really enjoyed. We've really loved the city of Lexington and just all these things that we again, it was completely unknown to us. And so I think the draw was just the respect of the program that it has nationally, and the possibility of joining was appealing.
That is associate head coach of UK Volleyball, Craig Luongo. I'm delighted to have you on the show, and I'm glad that that's been your experience. So you were aware of Coach Craig Skinner well before you came to before you went out for this job, right?
Yeah, just because he'd be widely considered one of the best in our professions right now. And so even though I didn't personally know him, everyone was like, "Oh, Craig Skinner, he's good at what he does."
And you came from, I mean, coming from Texas, which has a strong volleyball sort of ethos, I suppose.
Mhm.
And then I appreciate hearing this stuff from you because you hear Nebraska. No, Nebraska's the volleyball school, or Texas is incredible too.
Mhm.
Several of them, but Kentucky
Yeah.
increasingly I'm not in some sort of I'm not in some sort of time warp. Kentucky really has quite a program, right?
Yeah. I mean, the conference championship run that we currently are in is like in some ways unprecedented. I'm sure there's Nebraska at some point real ran off like 10 plus conference championships, or maybe Stanford in the old Pac-12. But to win nine in a row in this current era of volleyball is um, kind of just like, wow, how does that happen? And so, because you're not doing it in maybe some conference where you're just kind of beating up on everybody, you're doing it in a premier conference in the country. And so, so yes, to your point, Kentucky is not like just like, oh, they're decent. It's yeah, there's reason to have respect for what this program has done and what Craig has built, because it is not common for teams to have success like that over and over again.
It seems like, and I think I'm fortunate enough to be on the sort of just right here in the middle of it. It seems like women's collegiate volleyball is exploding. Is that just do I say that just because I happen to have stumbled into it, or is that actually happening?
No, it for sure happening. The TV exposure, the just the like you mentioned, kind of just the general interest starting to grow from fans who prior to that just didn't really understand the game at all. And um, it's a sport that really hooks people because it's fast. I think people can enjoy the pace of the play. I think there's a lot of personality and ability to see who people are on the game as well. Um, and so I think it's a sport that just lends itself to be really enjoyable for spectators. And so so yeah, we've had the last probably 5 years, the game has totally exploded in terms of support, viewership, attendance. And it's really cool to see that because I think we've known all along it's a really fun sport to watch, and it doesn't take much for people to get into it. Um, which I think people seeing it for what it really is has really, it's yeah, it's got great momentum right now.
Craig Luongo is here. He is the associate head coach of the University of Kentucky's women's volleyball program. And I have a question. This is just something that I've just wondered a few times, but is there a men's volleyball program at the University of Kentucky?
Only a club program. And
Okay.
so, and we actually utilize a couple of their players to help assist in our practices. So we have a couple of those guys. They come practice with us. So
Okay.
because we could utilize them and their physicality. Um, but yeah, no D1 men's volleyball program here at UK.
That is Kyle Luongo, and I noticed that Trinity Ward has popped in here, and if she's waiting for an introduction, Trinity Ward, please join us if you'd like to, as we talk to someone that you're seeing probably on the daily, if not multiple times. What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hi.
Hello, Trinity Ward. Welcome to the show. Thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. We were just chit chatting about something that you maybe know a little bit about, which is volleyball. What is it? I could ask both of you all. Trinity, I guess I'll ask you first. What's it like? What is it? What's it like working with the coaches? In terms of like improving yourself as a player, and do they ever tell you things that you don't want to hear?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's the kind of job of a coach is to tell us things that we don't want to hear. But the thing that I feel like our coaches do really well at is giving us like the back end of it of like the grace and like the relationship side. So like they're not just like yelling at us every day. They're not like just giving us the feedback. They're building the relationship with us on the side, like off the court, which helps us take the feedback easier. And because we already have that relationship built, like it's a lot easier to take the feedback and listen and listen to the hard conversations whenever we are like close off the court.
That is Trinity Ward. Kyle Luongo, is there anything you would add to that? What is it like coaching this group on the regular and like finding ways for them to improve that maybe they don't see that you do and trying to help them get to that next level?
Yeah, I mean, one, it's a total blast coaching this group. As a staff, we have a ton of joy doing what we do. And I think essentially you're trying to solve problems. And so you're trying to, there's individual like quote unquote problems of like maybe Trinity, we're trying to upgrade certain areas of her game. So it's like, what's going to work for Trinity? Because that might be something different that works with Molly Tuzzo. And so I think part of it is just trying to see like, how do we help Trinity make a little bit of a change today? And then how does she make a little bit of a change tomorrow? And that lends itself to a big change 3 months from now. And so, um, and then like Trinity shared, I think that can't be that has to be a part of the equation of like they have to understand we care about them. I think athletes are very intuitive and they can tell if you're just trying to push them because it's all about you and it's all about like my performance as a coach and my ego and they can read right through that. And so you have to care. If you don't, it's tough. And I think they see through that.
This is Trivial Thursdays. I'm your host, Mick Jeffries, and I'm here with Kyle Luongo and Trinity Ward of UK's fabulous volleyball program. Something that I stumbled into and have done nothing but become a bigger and bigger fan. And so I'm thrilled to have you all here and to get to chat to you a little bit. I will say that family vibe is very apparent on the court. It seems to me. And again, I come from a place of ignorance where I'm like, okay, maybe everything's like this, but I don't think so. I do get this incredible sense. So many high fives, by the way. Trinity, I don't know if you have ever counted the number of high fives. I used to, my first days of coming to the games, I was like, there must have been 2,000 high fives if you count them all. How does it feel to be on the court versus off the court with this crew that you're with the UK volleyball team? Do you all hang out off the court too?
Yeah, we hang out a lot off the court, like just going to events or like going bowling or just going to do things together because that's how you build the connection on the court. I feel like that's why we are so close is because we like to hang out off the court and just do things together. And I feel like not a lot of teams like they'll just go to like their rooms or go like do their own thing after practice. But like we love being together so much. Like we're fine with going straight after practice and going to do something together. Like it just builds the family piece and again it just keeps our connection strong.
And as far as that family piece goes, I mean, Kyle, it's your job, the coach's job, to sort of help these college students, balance all these things. And when we were trying to schedule this interview, that was one of the things that became very apparent to me because we've got UK athletics talking to teachers, talking to tutors, talking to a variety of people. So I appreciate you all making that happen. Kyle, do you run into situations sometimes where you feel like there may be sort of an imbalance with someone? Either there may be, you know, focusing, and this is probably nothing that comes up, focusing too much on volleyball and not enough on school, or what are those situations like for you? Is there a way that you maybe help gently nudge people to sort of try to strike that balance again, help them with that balance?
Yeah, I think I honestly forget they're students half the time. I like kind of forget they even go to school. I'm like, I thought we're just here to play volleyball and to train and win matches.
Yeah.
So when they talk about classes, I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot like that's what we're doing. Because sometimes it just feels like we've drifted into like semi-pro volleyball. And so I have to remind myself that they have other things on their plate because I think I might assume their life is more like mine. And when they're here at UK, it's about all volleyball. But it's not. And that's a good thing. I think a way for them to hopefully think about it is like there should be like a healthy obsession with volleyball. So I think if we want to be great, you have to be obsessed with it. You have to be passionate, but there hopefully is a level of it being healthy. And like you mentioned, like there needs to be some balance. You need to have the ability to step away from the game and enjoy other things outside of it. But if we want to do the things that we tend to do here at Kentucky, you do have to have a level of like, this matters essentially more than anything right now for these next 4 years. And so, or else we just won't get the results that we want if the standard is as high as it is.
That is Kyle Luongo, associate head coach of Kentucky Volleyball. You reminded me of something that a friend of mine, a friend from Muncie, Indiana, I'd like to point out, and a big volleyball fan, said to me once, because I've had to seek out several counsel on like asking all these stupid questions. And I'm like, well, what's the deal when blah, blah, blah? But, you know, she said something that was really interesting. and I'm curious about what you feel about it, Trinity. I'm not trying to age anybody, but she's like, those players are all teenagers, which is kind of true, right? And, right. So, and yet you all are subjected to endless sort of, I guess, like armchair volleyball experts, and now with social media and that kind of thing. And I just wonder what it's like, what it's like to see people saying stuff about you online, basically, good, bad, or otherwise.
Yeah. I feel like we kind of get talked to a little bit about it, but just especially like the bad comments I get, the good comments is super nice, but like it's the people online, like they can say the bad things and the good things, and it's like your identity. Like you need to know, like within your teammates, within yourself, within your coaches, like it's like the being in the present type of thing. Like you're in the moment. Don't worry about what the social media says, no matter if it is good things. Like you don't want your ego to go too high, but it's just like, especially I feel like after the Final Four, and like the national championship, like there definitely was a little bit of it, of like backlash, but it's just remembering like I mean, again, that's all the things that people are saying, like, isn't who you are, like, it's not your identity. And just remembering, like, that's just somebody, like, behind a screen, kind of. But we build a lot of trust in
You make
ourselves.
that sound so easy.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a lot harder. And in the moment, it's definitely a lot harder because, like, you're already going through, like, a tough moment of, like, we just lost. So just reading all these things. But again, it's just remembering, like, your family and the people around you that aren't saying those things behind a screen. So just, like, preparing yourself kind of for that moment.
That is Trinity Ward, of UK Volleyball. And Trinity, what do you do? You mentioned it. I wasn't sure I was going to mention it or not. You all, your last year's season, I believe, was nearly completely undefeated, except for that last game. And that must have been a tough one. But I feel like you all, I get the sense that you all had this sort of training from your coaches to be like, okay, we are awesome. And I believe Eva Hudson said something to that effect. We have nothing to be ashamed of. Um, how as that was kind of wrapping up, how did you all cope with it? I guess as a group together and individually. Did you see anyone taking it particularly hard? Might be a good question. One of your teammates who maybe you wanted to sort of check in with and be like, listen,
Yeah, I mean, we all kind of took it hard, but kind of like Eva said, one game like doesn't define us. And I know Brooklyn Delays and
that's
BK said it a bunch, but the one game at the end where we came up a little short, like that doesn't define us our whole season. We had worked up to this moment. We got there. Not many teams get to say they got there, so that's super special as it is. Yeah, it probably took maybe a few weeks to get over it. Obviously, the feelings were definitely there. But again, we had worked up to that moment and we had made it there. We just came a little short. So it doesn't define the whole rest of the season that we had because we ended up having a great season overall.
it was an absolutely thrilling season. I saw a lot of it and just was just beyond tickled and just love watching you all play. The attitudes on court are one of the things that I think has drawn me to volleyball because watching you all play and also watching Transylvania play too, like I would see people maybe commit some sort of error, miss something, and there wasn't like a big dramatic. There's never a big dramatic production about it. It's always just like, okay, all right, moving on, moving on. High fives, high fives, high fives all around. And that feels special. I can't help but wonder if that's what sports looks like without testosterone. I don't know. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, that's a good way to put it. I feel like, I mean, girls, I guess, women, we just are always like it's like joyful. It's fun to be around each other. We like being with each other. So even whenever mistakes are made, it's like next point, next ball, like you have somebody to pick you back up. We have, I mean, 14 girls on the team, and I know every single one of them will pick me back up. They got my back if I make mistakes, and they still have that same trust in me before I made a mistake. So just knowing that and just putting that trust in each other early on really helps whenever mistakes do happen because it's like volleyball is like a game of mistakes, so it's bound to happen. But just having teammates and even coaches like that, just are going to be there for you, even like whenever you do make mistakes, is super important.
Is there anything you would add to that, Kyle?
I think part of what you said is right. I mean, I think of other sports, or I think of guys experiencing failure. Um, a lot of times you see a lot of different behavior, or there's just more knuckleheads in men's sports where it's maybe even seen as not as big a deal when guys react strongly to their poor play, or toss a racket, or break a bat, or wave their hands in the air. Um,
Like
so
that's
yeah, I
part of
think
the
part of it
character
is
or something.
kudos to the girls for like handling adversity in such a mature way, and whether that's just how they're wired a little differently, but also just the discipline to, like Trinity said, just to move on. Like it's done. Yes, it sucks, but like I'm moving on. Like nothing else I can do. I got my team with me. Um, and so yeah, kind of in a cool way, it's not as common in women's volleyball to see people um, respond so strongly to their mistakes. Of course, there still are players that do that, but it definitely isn't the norm. Whereas maybe in other sports, it might be like you kind of expect to see that. And so, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think of John McEnroe over the years, who cultivated this kind of reputation as like the bad boy of tennis, and that was like part of his charm, kind of, or something like that, which I feel like is sort of dysfunctional. But um, I don't know if it happens with other volleyball teams or not. That sort of thing. Carter Booth, I feel like, had a little bit of a little bit of a bad girl kind of reputation, basically. But let's see. So what is it? You watch these games, and we mentioned about how much fun it is to kind of watch these games. I would mention that I'm diagnosed with ADHD, and like watching that ball like fly back and forth across the net and different people get it is like it's like story time for me, sort of, or something. I it's almost calming, honestly, to watch. But on the court, it looks like some sort of like chaos acrobatics. And people just appear out of nowhere, and somehow, it's like you're reading each other's minds. What is going on out there, Trinity? I always wonder about, like, obviously you can sort of practice and memorize plays, but when I'm watching it, I'm like, it's just, there's people just like jumping in every possible direction, way higher than I could imagine. And then Molly Tuzzo or somebody comes out of nowhere, and suddenly her hand is underneath of a volleyball that was just about to be, on the ground. How do you all coordinate with each other? And then furthermore, what do you do when you feel like you're not connecting with each other?
I think it kind of all goes back to communication. Like, I mean, obviously, we want more than if no one's going for the ball, we want more people going for the ball. But just like calling the ball, calling out, like being intentional about what we're talking about, figuring out who's going to get this ball so that people aren't running into each other. Yeah, Molly is really good at it. You just will see her come out of nowhere, and you're like, wow, where did she come from? Um,
Totally.
but yeah, the communication piece. And I feel like a lot of the times, even in practice, whenever things aren't going right or multiple people are ending up on the ground for a ball that should have been up, etc., like it all just goes back to the communication piece. And we're not talking during the play or not being intentional with what we're saying. So it's all just about the communication, I think.
That is Trinity Ward, and she's here along with Kyle Luongo. And also, I believe Cassie O'Brien is here. Cassie, if you would like to join us, please feel free to. Hello there, Cassie O'Brien. Welcome to Trivial Thursdays.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
This may come as a surprise, but we're talking about volleyball. And specifically at that moment anyway, kind of, the sort of, I hate to use the word frenzy. Like when I watch you all on the court, everybody's moving every which way, which is great. Sometimes you get a feeling that like you're totally in control, and other times you're like, oh, I think they're kind of, just trying to keep the ball going. But other times, again, it feels like one of my first favorite things that I ever saw when I watched you all play was the fake out jump that happens. I don't know, what do you call that? Like where multiple people jump up and like, nope, gotcha, it was over here.
That's just like our attackers going in their routes. So every time like the ball comes over, I'm a setter, so I'm setting, but every attacker has to be going because they don't know who's going to be set. So you often see like our middles jump because they could be set or they could not. It also helps fake out the other side, like our opponents as well, and the blockers on the other team.
So it's a combination then of a defensive move and the fake out, which I really like that part. There's some humor in it to me. I find humor in it, sort of, like, nope,
Hmm.
wrong side of the court. Sorry. Kassie, you let's see. By the way, I'm kind of holding you all hostage. Kyle, if you need to go, you can, but I'd love it if you stayed. And because you all seem like such a family on the court and off the court that I love having the opportunity to put you all together and just be like, what's up? As a matter of fact, maybe Trinity and Kassie, what do you guys, when you're not playing volleyball, what do you do? I asked Trinity if you all hung out together and go out and do stuff, but like, what are some of your favorite things to do? And are you doing them with other volleyball players, or do you have like, oh, those are my volleyball friends. I've got these other friends over here.
Yeah, no, I would say pretty much all my friends are the volleyball team, and we do a lot of things together. Um, I we enjoy like we'll go to the movies if there's a new movie out, or go shopping on the weekends at the mall or the Summit. We kind of just find like little things here and there to go and do. Keeneland's coming up, so a lot of us are going to Keeneland this weekend. So it's kind of just like little things that we try to do and get away from volleyball on the weekends and just hang out and yeah, have a good time.
What is going on when I feel like you all are out there exerting every iota of your energy and skill and practice and everything and whatnot, and then there'll be a timeout called, and half of you start running laps back and forth on the court, which sometimes I guess I feel like as a more sedentary person that adds insult to injury. But what is that doing for you all? What are those laps doing for you all?
Yeah, so on the bench we either do like pogos, so we jump up and down, or we like run. It's just to keep us warm, and just being ready to go in, or just being ready, just like get us moving, keep us hot, I guess, so that like whenever the people come off the bench, we give high fives, and then we immediately take off and start moving our body a little bit.
Now, speaking of moving your body, I need to know who's in charge of the sideline dance routines. Are there some people that are sort of more game for that than others? I'm really curious.
Yeah, we kind of just call it out, but I'd say like probably me and Perez, and I guess Georgia as well. We kind of just call out things and kind of lead it and start yelling things, and everyone kind of just follows along, and then, or we'll start doing a dance, and everyone kind of just follows along.
It's one of my favorite things. It's one of the things that I feel like sets women's volleyball apart. Kind of is it's just a joy. Honestly, there's this joy there that I've never seen in another sport really. That joy. Do you all get that too, Kassie? You're from Texas, right?
I am.
So I learned during the playoffs that Texas has this volleyball culture that many of those players have been playing together well before their college careers. Is that right? Was that true for you?
Yes. Yeah, no, I think especially like in Houston, Dallas are like the main two big cities known for volleyball. And so a lot of us come from all over down there, and we play club with each other for multiple years in a row. And then some girls will end up committing to the same college. So some girls will go and play with each other continued in college, and then some will like go on their other ways, different schools. But we do all play for club down there, and for most of us play with each other for multiple years in a row. So
That is Kassie O'Brien of the UK Volleyball program. Kyle Luongo, I wanted to ask you, what's it like to, every year there's a few more players. And honestly, this is sort of new to me. I'm like, wait a minute, there's new people. Um, what sort of things do you do to sort of help new recruits sort of integrate into the program?
I think a couple of things stand out is they want to feel like they understand what we're doing, so they don't feel lost. That would not be a good feeling. You don't like feeling new. You want to feel like you blend in and that you're part of it. And so I think a big part of it for us as coaches, we want to make sure they understand what we're doing, why we're doing it, as quickly as they can, so that once we're in the gym, they feel comfortable and they feel like they can play, perform, make mistakes, and they understand where we're coming from, how we see things, and maybe what's expected of them. I would say the other part that's probably bigger than that is just the more time they could spend with their now new teammates is just that's going to do much more than time with us. I think that's going to be what the biggest piece is like. Can they just get connected with their teammates? Can they start to establish their tightest friends on the team and kind of their person when things are good or things are rough. And I think they need that. And so that's just kind of, as the Trinity and Kassie have already shared, just like time away from the gym is going to be where a lot of that just helps to solidify for them. Yeah, that sense of belonging.
That is Associate Head Coach Kyle Luongo of the UK Volleyball program. All right, are we ready to get silly? Because I've got some silly stuff for you all. I'm a huge fan of the shorts that the UK Athletics makes that you guys are involved in. The unscripted things where one player has a microphone and supposedly, maybe at the beginning the other players don't know, but I think they all know now. And you just get this kind of, it's just whatever sounds are coming out of you during during practice, and I love those. Those are so much fun. And also, I want to draw attention to something that that Megan Wilson, one of the first ones I ever saw. So Megan, who has moved on and is playing overseas, I think, right? She got one where she was asking questions. They were the most ridiculous questions ever. And I've kind of worked up some of this for you all. So in honor of Megan Wilson and the UK Volleyball program. So if you will, please, I'd like to know what's your favorite and why. Let's see, I've got here, for you, is it a sock cap or is it a toboggan?
It's a toboggan.
Toboggan, okay. Kassie, you
Toboggan.
agree?
Yes.
Interesting. What about your favorite pasta shape?
What's the shape?
Did I say they were going to be hard? Because they are.
I don't know what it's called, but it's like the twisty one. Like it like looks like a curl.
Yeah, it's like a rotini, maybe. I'm not really sure if that's what those are
Rotini.
called.
That's my favorite.
Yeah. Kassie,
Oh my gosh.
favorite pasta
What's
shape?
this shape? I like the one that's like, I don't know. It might be rigatoni. I don't know. It's like a cylinder looking one.
The corkscrew, is it like kind of a corks? No. Okay.
Yeah, maybe something
Maybe.
like that. Yeah.
All right, moving on. Let's see your favorite type of ice.
Pellet ice.
Pellet ice.
Yes, pellet
Is that
ice.
from Trinity
for
too?
sure.
All right. Like they
Yeah.
have at Sonic. I think Sonic has
Yes,
that.
the
Like,
Sonic ice
and
is
Chick-fil-A.
so good.
Yes.
let's see. What about your favorite color of sports tape?
Color sports tape.
I don't know if it comes in different colors. I may be wrong about that.
I know most of it's just white, but
But a girl can dream, right?
right. Maybe like pink. I don't know.
Yeah, but mine's probably blue. It's my favorite color, so gotta stick with that.
Okay, so let's see. What about as we move into spring here, nature's coming alive. Do you have a favorite bird call, bird sound? And can you make it?
Bird sound? Oh geez.
Yeah, that's pushing it a little bit.
I don't think I've ever made a bird sound.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to whistle, so
I think it's cardinals. Cardinals have a variety of different calls, and I think one of them that I love is I swear this is me doing a cardinal. One of them is birdie, 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 birdie.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
yeah, that was.
Thank you. Thank you. I've been practicing. So maybe bird calls not on your radar that much.
I need
Let's
to
see.
start listening.
Yeah. You need to start listening for our follow up, right? Let's see. So if volleyball, like music, figures into your all situation a lot, and maybe other team sports that I don't follow, but I love like listening to what happens at different times in the game. You know, Brooklyn Delay is blessed with No Sleep Till Brooklyn, the Beastie Boys song. And I'm just wondering, what does it take to get your own song? Or do you already have your own songs? And is this something you apply for? Or how do you get your own song, your theme song?
So we have this guy named Chad, and he asked us at the beginning of the season, we filled out a form, and he gave us like we put our like songs of like when we get a kill or certain things. I don't know how much they're used. I know Brooklyn's is obviously used because it kind of matches her, but on the form, everyone put like their song for like an ace, a kill, like etc. So everyone has one. I don't know how much they're used, but everyone's got one.
What's yours? Do you know?
Mm, I do not
Or
know what I
what did you
put.
apply for? Let's put it that way.
Don't you have one trend that's like for your ace in the face? Isn't there a song for that? Do they play?
Yes, they do, but I just cannot remember it. I need to pay
what about
attention, probably.
what about you, Cassie? Do you have a theme song?
I don't think
Not.
so.
I think the answer is
No,
not yet.
not yet. That's right.
Again, there does seem to be this great spirit of music. I know that like in 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 team sports like this, like I've begun to notice that everybody has headphones because there's like
Mhm.
so many situations, not on the court, obviously, or even on the sidelines, but like music kind of figures into, I guess, bus rides and all kinds of things
Oh
like
yeah.
that. And so, is there like a is there a trend? Can you point to anybody on the team who's like so on it with their musical selections that you sort of look to for your next tune that you didn't know about? This is a music centric radio station. That's why I have to ask this question. I'm obliged legally.
Yeah. Um,
Like everyone has their own like kind of taste. So everyone's kind of listening to a little bit of their own thing before a game. But there's definitely people on the team that have like listened to a little bit of everything. So it's like when they're listening to music, it's like, okay, I can like cling to them. But I feel like everyone kind of listens to their own thing to get them like ready for the game.
Do you have like a psych up song? Do either of you all have a particular psych? You're like, will this guy quit asking me questions about a song?
I can't think of a specific song, but I listen to like a little bit of both. I listen to like rap and worship music before I play. So I mix in a little bit of both, two different genres, but it works for me.
I feel like you've really got the bases covered with that, with rap and worship music. You've just that's a great, like, you've got a lot covered there. What about you, Cassie?
yeah. Definitely more of like calm worship music, but I do like to throw in like a little Rihanna. So like Run This Town will be in there. I don't know, that's like my main like anytime we're walking off the bus, like Run This Town is in my ear like in my ears as we're walking in because I'm like I'm gonna run this town tonight, So it
Yeah.
kind of gets me fired up and going. But yeah, that's what I'd say.
This is Trivial Thursdays, and I'm here with UK Volleyball's Trinity Ward and Cassie O'Brien. And I'm going to let you guys go here in a second, but I want to ask if there are other, kind of team rituals. Like one of the things that I've come to love, and I can't believe I actually run down to the front for it, is after the game when you all do a lap and high five 1,000 people, and probably then go wash your hands. But is that is that unique to the UK program, or is that just a home game thing? Do you know?
Um, Definitely a home game thing, but I think it's been going on for a while now. I'm not so sure, but I do know like before I even came to UK, they had been doing that. So it's kind of cool just seeing it go throughout each year, and that's kind of something that's special to UK, and all the fans know and BBN know that after we play that we're gonna make a lap. So coming down there to give high fives no matter win or loss, it's really cool to just see their support and be able to kind of give them a thank you as we run around.
Well, it's a thank you to you all too. Like that's I come running down there because I'm like I feel like I should at least give someone a high five for that incredible hour and a half
Yeah.
that I just got to have.
Mhm.
Let's see, Trinity. I would ask you about another one, which is I have to back up. This, what do you call that? The circle with the hands. I've seen
Yeah,
other
I mean
teams do it.
we do that before game, I guess the people that are starting, and then after the game, it's like kind of like our huddle. Um the captains, whatever, whoever chimes in, talks about like kind of what the game, win or loss, what the game went on, and then whenever we're like done, we like swing our hands back, clap, and then wave out to the stands at the end to again kind of just show the support of like, hey guys, like, and just kind of find one person in the crowd we can make eye contact with and just wave, just to just show support.
Fantastic. Um, let's see. So I think I've got to let you guys go here in a second. So I guess I want to finish up maybe by asking, last season was just astounding. And it was just such an incredible delight to watch. What do you've got some new people on the team. You're headed into another season. You guys are playing Louisville tonight, right? Tomorrow. Okay. I'm glad that we didn't forget to mention that. That's like a preseason game, University of Kentucky versus Louisville. How are you feeling about that? This is like my most sportsy question.
I'm really excited because being from Louisville, it's a big rivalry. There's obviously a lot of history there, so it brings more intensity. But at the end of the day, like it's just another game to bring our all and like play our games. So we're all really excited just because we know it's going to be a competitive match. We know it's going to be a really good game, and we're gonna have fans like cheering us on. Like it's just going to be such a good environment and such a good rivalry game.
Kassie, anything to add to that?
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's kind of cool to get this opportunity in the spring to play such a high level team and it not really even count for anything. It's kind of just both teams go out there in the spring. We've been training since January and we can kind of just get after it. And then that kind of gives us just a feel for what it's like whenever we do hit August and hit the ground running for actual season. So I think we're all really looking forward to it, and we're excited to give it one more go because that will be our last game before we're done for volleyball until August.
Until the official season. Is that right?
Yes.
Is that how that works?
Yes.
Okay. I always have to ask these questions over and over
Yeah.
again.
No, you're right.
I want to thank you both for being on the show. Such a wonderful little chance to hang out and talk to you and just celebrate the UK volleyball program. And I can't wait for this season and to watch you all play. And it's it's such a delight. It's just such an incredible delight. So thank you for being on Trivial Thursdays. And I guess you probably have classes and stuff to get to now, being college students first,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
All righty. Let's see. I am going to say so long then, and you guys are free to go, as they say. We're going to take a little musical break here and come back with Bill Verbal. And also later on the show, Cole Kidwell will be here. So without further ado,